All right, now to Washington, D.C. as we track the transition of power. President-elect Joe Biden hit the ground running, rolling out his plan to tackle the pandemic. But President Trump is still not conceding, instead continuing to fight the results. President-elect Joe Biden urged Americans to come together to fight the coronavirus.
We could save tens of thousands of lives if everyone would just wear a mask for the next few months. Not Democrat or Republican lives, American lives.
Some health experts estimate 100,000 people could die by the time Mr. Biden takes office.
Maybe it saves the lives of one of your children's teachers. Maybe it saves your life.
Around the country, the number of cases and hospitalizations are hitting new highs.
These rates of growth are truly chilling.
It is no longer a drift. Our cases are surging up.
Meanwhile, President Trump is continuing to fight the election results with unfounded claims of voter fraud.
This election is not over. Far from it.
Attorney General Bill Barr is urging federal prosecutors to pursue substantial allegations of voter fraud, even though there's been no evidence of it. In Georgia, election officials pushed back against Republican allegations they haven't been transparent.
And what I don't like is people out there trying to undermine the system.
Judges in Michigan, Georgia, and Nevada have already rejected lawsuits backed by the campaign, saying they presented no serious evidence. And while that fight goes on, let's spend some more time on the big news that got the attention of the transition team. A lot of developments of the coronavirus. Here we go. The U.S. reached another grim milestone, 10 million cases. We've also reached more than 100,000 cases nationwide for 5 straight days. Meanwhile, that outbreak continues in El Paso. The city has hit nearly 27,000 cases. There is now a curfew in effect until tomorrow. And finally, Ben Carson, the Secretary of Housing and Urban Development, tests positive for COVID-19. His chief of staff says he's in good spirits.
And we've got a couple other pieces of big news in the fight against the virus. The FDA authorized emergency use of an experimental Eli Lilly antibody treatment. It's similar to the Regeneron treatment President Trump received after his COVID-19 diagnosis a couple of weeks ago. And that news came on the heels of a huge announcement from Pfizer that its vaccine candidate demonstrated initial evidence of efficacy against COVID-19. So in layman's terms, what does that mean? The shots might be 90% effective at preventing the virus, but local experts say preliminary results still need to undergo regulatory and peer review.
The other piece of information we don't know yet is how long that protection will work. We'll have to look at that over time to see whether the protection is for just a short period of time, whether it's for 6 months or more, or even longer.
Now, Pfizer says it plans to ask the FDA for emergency authorization of the 2-dose vaccine later this month. By the end of the year, it will have manufactured enough doses to immunize 15 to 20 million people. But Baylor College of Medicine vaccine expert Peter Hotez says the most important part of the story this week isn't Pfizer's press release. It's not even President-elect Biden's advisory task force. He says it's what he's calling the humanitarian tragedy now unfolding across the middle part of our country, predicting we reach 200,000 new cases a day and 400,000 deaths by February 1st.